Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff, a new venue as the BetVictor Welsh Open returns to the capital for the first time in 11 years. And Cardiff will be in for a real treat if 2015 lives up to the spectacular finish to last year's tournament in Newport.
Will be going for the 147, trust me. Go on, White. Go on, White. That is perfect. Genius at work, makes a magnificent 147, greatly appreciated by everybody in the room and Ginger Way. He's won the BetVictor Welsh Open. This audience has gone absolutely berserk.
Yes, Ronnie O'Sullivan winning in some style last year, and the defending champion, one of 128 players contesting the title over 7 days in another tweak to the format. We start with 11 tables. Today, the top half of the draw play their opening 2 rounds, and here's what we've got coming up this afternoon. It's the reigning champion and the big box office star. We'll see if Ronnie's ready to reproduce the form that won him the title in 2014. It's 8 years since the man from Oz won the Welsh Open. Can world number 4 Neil Robertson avoid an upset against rising British star James Cahill? Still the only Welshman to win it, and 16 years since he lifted the trophy. We'll see what Mark Williams has to offer now he's back in the world's top 16. Williams, one of 12 Welsh hopefuls, will catch up with the rest of the home guard, including former UK champion Matthew Stevens. Yes, good afternoon. A very warm welcome for the start of another new era for the Welsh Open here in Cardiff. With me, Terry Griffiths. Very good afternoon to you, Terry. So we're back in Cardiff then. What do you make of it so far?
Well, it's nice to be back after such a long spent 11 years, you know. But of course, Newport Centre has been brilliant for snooker as well over the years. But we left there now and come into the capital city, and I must say it's a lovely city now. It's expanding daily, I should think, Cardiff. It's a very nice place to stay.
I hope you're finding your way around the place so far, but the final already sold out, so it's already attracting the crowds. It's going to be successful, you would imagine, isn't it?
I think snooker's going through a very good stage at the moment, you know, through Barry Hearn's reign, really. The resurgence of Ronnie O'Sullivan playing some excellent snooker, of course, winning here last year with that 147, as you showed. And I think it's going to be another great week. It was
a stunning finish by Ronnie last year, that's for sure. What about the format as well, Terry? Another slight tweak to that, because this year all 128 players playing over the 7 days, whereas last year it was spread over a slightly longer period.
Well, I think Barry Hearn's philosophy is straightforward enough. He's got to change things all the time to make them fresh. and for 128 players to come into this venue is something really special in a way. But of course the players are playing twice in a day for the first few days, which is unusual in ranking events, but it's what you've got to do these days in the modern game.
How tough is that for those players to play
I think
twice in one day?
It all depends how you play in your first match. Sometimes if you win it and play well, you're looking forward to the night match, but if you win it and struggle, I mean, you're not, you know, quite in the same frame of mind. But they do play the PTC events, which are mainly in Europe these days, and they play there 3 or 4 times in a day, so the players are used to it.
And we're going to see Ronnie in just a few moments, of course. How do you see him doing this year? It was a stunning finish to last year.
I can't see him being slow and defensive, for certain.
OK, we shall find out very shortly.
He's very excited.
He is excited. Yeah. Let's have a look then at that match, which is coming up very shortly. Australian Vinnie Calabrese is the first obstacle standing in the way of our defending champion.
Technical. Ronnie O'Sullivan has one major advantage over his competitors. He plays the game both left and right-handed to an amazing standard. He can get at shots where other players would have awkward cueing or need to use the rest. Nothing unusual about the way he grips the cue, but although it looks relatively firm, it's loose enough not to stifle the finesse he often utilises in his positional play. His feathering has a natural rhythm to it. It reminds me of the action of a top darts player setting up for the throw.
The old parallel cueing theory is torn up by the rocket. With the butt of the cue relatively high in the air, Ronnie guarantees his smooth stroke is never cramped. Ronnie gets through the ball better than anyone else in the game. That means more action on the cue ball and a greater variety of shots available to him.
Tactical. A break builder of breathtaking ability. He sees shots so quickly that he rarely breaks his stride around the table. This rhythm means he never has time to outthink himself, and in a nutshell gives his natural ability every chance to take control.
Safety is not the first word that comes to mind when you think of the rocket, but he is one of the best safety players in the game, and it's always safety with a purpose. Psychological. Much has been made of Ronnie's mental approach to the game. Only he knows what is going on inside, but when he's in the right frame of mind to play, he has a rock-solid temperament.
Perhaps the game comes so easily and naturally to him that it doesn't give him enough of a challenge. As far as weaknesses go, it's not a bad one to have.
Yes, and for the Rocket, a first ever meeting with Vinnie Calabrese, the 27-year-old who won the Australian national title at under 12. He turned pro and joined the main tour 2 years ago. And not a bad practice partner either. He knocks up with the world number 4 and fellow Aussie, Neil Robertson. So, the players are on their way out. Let's get our 2015 coverage underway, shall we? Vinnie Calabrese against the defending champion Ronnie O'Sullivan. Your commentary team is Darren Morgan and Willie Thorpe.
Thank you very much, Steve. Good afternoon, everybody. And what a start to the tournament this could be. The legend that is Ronnie O'Sullivan, the defending champion, taken to the table against an opponent I've got to be honest, I haven't seen play before, so I'm looking forward to watching Vinnie play. He's had a few good results in his couple of years as a pro. There couldn't be a bigger baptism of fire, though, on a television table against the former world champion and probably the best player in the world. With me in the commentary box, Darren Morgan, former Welsh Open champion. Looking forward to this one, Daz?
Yes, it's going to be
just away now, please.
A good start
the first frame
to kick this year's Welsh Open off with defending champion Ronnie. And whilst you haven't seen much of Vinnie Calabrese, I have watched him a little bit in a couple of years gone by on the amateur circuit at the World Championships, and he can be a bit of a mad potter if you start seeing him.
Well, he practices with probably the best potter in the game, Neil Robertson, in Cambridge at WT Snooker Club in Cambridge. It'll be interesting to see how he can cope. I think it's all about nerves now when you're playing Ronnie O'Sullivan. Can you settle? And of course it's best of 7, which means you have to settle very quickly.
He'll be mightily relieved that that cue ball's gone up behind the yellow. It looked like he was going to leave Ronnie a nice easy starter. I say easy starter, he just still had full length between both balls, but it'd have been one he'd have expected to have knocked in. Just going to try and come off the side cushion, rest into the reds. And that's well played. And already we can see within the first couple of shots at this table, he's playing very fast. He hardly hit that.
Yeah, in his opening safety shot, I didn't think it was ever going to get to be end up virtually touching the yellow, but it landed, and an excellent escape from Ronnie. Big ordeal, of course, for these overseas players to come and play on the circuit. It's a little bit more worldwide now. A few years ago there was only really the English tour, as it were, but they're playing in and out of Europe, in the Far East and Asia and places like that, and it's now a worldwide game. You may be able to get through to the long red in between the yellow and blue, but if you can't, you can play an aggressive safety shot here, opening the reds up. Can't quite get through the gap, so playing that safety shot. Well, I've only seen him play a couple of safety shots, but he looks very adept in that department. That's an excellent safety.
Yes, well, and you would think that that would be one of his strong points, especially if he's practicing with Neil Robertson all the time. Otherwise he'd be picking balls up session after session. I think Ronnie thought he'd potted that one. As it is, he's given first opportunity.
Well, the excellent safety shot deserved this opportunity. Well, mind you, you cannot afford to miss them whoever you're playing. No need to play a cannon, but the red directly above the black, the middle of the three reds above the black, that would be a nice one to nudge out of the way. No, he's left himself okay, but
8.
He needs to be straightish on this red. On the bottom one of the two pots.
9.
Undoubtedly the game's greatest break builder now. He's overtaken Stephen Hendry in the century department. And it's not beyond the realms of possibility in the next
16.
3 or 4 years he could pass the 1,000 century break marker. That would be unbelievable.
17. $24.
Really could have done with being a little bit straight on this red. The one he's looking at was just below the pink. It was a bit tight to the corner pocket, so
25.
always tricky them into the middle pockets, especially with a little bit of run inside. All of a sudden, Ronnie O'Sullivan straight into his flow.
$31.
As silly as it sounds, that first red that Vinnie Calabrese missed could already have sealed his fate within this match. He's had a long
38.
time to sit there. All negative thoughts going in his head. He needed to get off to a real good start.
39.
Shows how quick the table is. When he's overrun that by a few inches, he has the pink as a bonus now in the middle. He didn't play for the pink. Both these players, of course, playing virtually day in, day out now. They've just come back from qualifiers in Barnsley, I think it was yesterday, playing in a
45.
tournament qualifier. So they're all match sharp. But that first red that Vinny missed is one that you can't afford to miss against any player. There's the red. It's just impossible to miss that, isn't it? But as Darren said, could cost him the frame.
$51. $52.
Well, he played the cannon then, and he's missed it, so he's still got this red into the left corner, but it's a real thin snick. He's over chipped it.
Ronnie Sullivan, 59.
Still a good opening effort from Ronnie Sullivan at 59. And more importantly, there's still enough balls on the table for Vinny to stage a bit of a comeback. This red looks easy, but it's not. It's a little bit further away from this corner pocket, and he's nearly straight. If it's another inch further on, it's unmissable. If it catches the jaw, it won't go in. Well, he struck that absolutely terrifically. Nice cue-in. Obviously this red goes past the black. What a terrific shot that was.
Just got enough room just to roll this in and avoid the cannon on the reds and be on the black. He tried to pinch a bit there. I think he was a little concerned. If he potted it in the centre of the pocket, he may have made contact with the red above the black, but you'd have still expected him to flick off the red. And I'm surprised he tried to pinch the pocket that much.
1.
So he's just not settled yet, and it's an ordeal without question. And you're playing one of the game's great players for the first time on a television table. It's always a little nerve-wracking.
$8. 9.
Well, that was frame ball.
16.
So the first frame is gone now. No indoors, of course. Best of 7.
17.
Nice little test of queuing early on in this match. These blues. It's always nice to knock one of these in. Right into the hard pocket.
22. 23.
Clever little shot there, just bringing the red into play, knowing that he's bound to be on another red.
31.
started this frame with a break of 59 and looked like he was going to win the frame at one visit, with an overcut a red that gave
38.
Vinny an extra chance. Little exhibition shot coming up there.
39. Foul.
Well, 3 balls in one shot nearly, but Ronnie O'Sullivan break of 59 very early on. That stamped his authority on this match straight away. Vinny got it all to do. He trails 1-0.
So yes, a straightforward start for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Let us bring you up to date with a few results elsewhere. A real struggle for Masters champion Shaun Murphy. He eventually saw off Stephen Hallworth 4-3 in the deciding frame. Mark Allen, the world number 10, he won 4-1 against Alexander Ursenbacher. One Welshman through already, Jamie Jones, straightforward with a 4-0 win over Christopher Norbury. And Michael Holt, perhaps this the shock of the day so far. He's in the top 32. He lost 4-2 against Ashley Carty. So Terry, we've got one Welshman through, Jamie Jones, but we're seeing Ronnie getting off to a simple start there.
Yes, I think he goes out there to enforce himself on his opponent with his excellent play, and that's what he done there. You know, though he lost position on 50-odd, he still looks very impressive. And as Willie said there, it's a bit intimidating when you're out there playing him like this.
Let's see how Vinny Calabrese gets on in the second frame. Let's rejoin our commentary team, Willie and Darren.
So then, Vinny Calabrese spent most of the time in his chair the last frame, thinking about that easy first opportunity that he had. He's going to put that behind him now. The trouble is, Ronnie O'Sullivan is probably the best the game has ever seen. And the one thing you don't want is to let him get into his stride straight out of the blocks.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
wow.
4.
Don't really know what happened there. Come straight across that one.
1.
He didn't want to be dead straight on this red. There we go.
8.
He was queuing tight off the cushion, but you'd have still expected him to have potted that red. Well, in the red
9.
went. He played it with run inside as well, so that was a good shot from Vinny Calabrese. Here's another one. He just rushed that a little bit.
Vinny Calabrese, 9.
That needed to go in at that speed.
Just hasn't settled, does he? You can see it in his face. He's anxious out there. He knows he's already had a couple of chances and yet to score any sort of break. And this match would disappear very quickly if he doesn't kick into gear. A bit of a haircut since we saw Ronnie in the last tournament, the German Masters. It's nice to see Ronnie deciding to play in a few more tournaments. You realise he can't really compete at the top level if he's not playing consistently. Even though he's the best player in the world, if you're not match sharp, it can cost you, as it has done against Selby and
8.
Robertson in the last couple of tournaments. He's vulnerable at the moment.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
Vinny should be getting a little bit of confidence having seen Ronnie miss these few shots that he's missed in the opening 2 frames.
1.
Well, he doesn't lack cue power, that's for definite. Struck that again very well.
Six.
I won't say the balls are ideal, but there are 2 or 3 out in the open. Played that very well as well. Nice
13.
control. Just feel he needs to get about 20 or 30 points just to settle himself down.
Even though the red to the outside of the pack will pot, it's plenty of value here in playing the joint of the 2 reds, just to the right of the pink there. Playing to that joint there. Well, he's hit one full ball. If you're going to play at that pace, he needs to play a little bit harder. But that was the correct shot to bring those reds into play. And a little bit unfortunate, but if he gets the joint of those 2 reds, he pushes reds to the right and left hand corner. Okay, he's still got one, but as you can see, it's very awkward. They need the long spider if he wants to cut the one into the right of the black. The one that's nearest the cue ball will pot in the left hand corner, but that's very thin as well. Bit of a hairstyle down. I've not had one like that for a while, have you?
I like it. As I said earlier, he's a bit of a mad potter, Vinny, so he likes to go for his shots. He did look at the red to the left of the cue ball to see if he could snick that back into the left corner. He's decided to get the long tackle out.
Good recovery, well played. Just needs that cue ball to travel a little more. He may have to play for the red in baulk now.
20.
Ideally, he'd have liked to have got top side of the blue. Anything but straight on this red down in the baulk area. Doesn't want to be screwing back on and off a cushion. Needs to leave an angle on this red. But if it's on the cushion, he might be okay. Yes, he's just okay now. He's got that angle. But if it is straight, he would have been awkward. This is a good chance to take this frame and level at 1-all. So
26.
The only problem with taking the green now, he's coming down the wrong side of the table. He may have to play the run through now of 2 cushions. There's one at the back of the 4 reds below the pink. There's a big gap there in between. You can put that red into the left hand corner, but if he plays the green, it's all about getting the pace right.
Or the yellow, Willie. Mind you, it's an hard shot from yellow to get to the 2 reds to the right of the pink, but he has got a red just above the black that goes to this left corner. And he's going to have to play this to absolute perfection. That was the problem there. That was a deep screw he was going for there.
Why not run through though, 2 cushions? And there's
29.
a massive gap in between those 6 reds for the bottom red. And this is the plant on its end of break. Doesn't look like it from that camera angle, does it? He's having a look at the plant though. He can play it into the baulk area of the cue ball, which means he might decide to take the plant on. No, he's just playing the safety. Well, it's his highest break of the match so far, 29. Should have been a little bit more.
1.
Well, you can't cue any better than that. Cueing over a ball, if you put any unwanted side on whatsoever, you swerve the cue ball there, had it that dead centre. And luckily for Ronnie, it just ran through a little bit too much, hence the black was too difficult.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
And covering up the left-hand side of the table, that's a good safety shot. How well he cued this.
Well, the yellow come to his save in the first frame, and the greens come to his save in this time. Obviously, he played the cue ball to the bulk cushion, but he'll take it. That's okay.
It's a big target here to get him behind the brown. I'd prefer to play the red that's next to the black. Off 3 cushions in behind brown and yellow. It's all about getting the pace right when you play this shot, and you'll be pushing a red a little bit towards the right hand corner. They've not even looked at the shot to push red onto black and play into baulk. He's pushing that red over, look, you see. Can't really get through to it. Well, he's played a good shot there. He's just covered that red up. I must admit that for the first day in a tournament, tables usually play a little bit slower the first day until they're bedded in with the television lights, but this table is playing lightning.
Well, he had that one all wrong, much too thin. Don't get me wrong, cue ball's quite close to the cushion, but he hasn't got to do a lot with the cue ball. He was never really going to miss that one. So Vinny, he's had his chances in these opening 2 frames. Just hasn't scored enough. Missed a couple that he should have got.
6.
It's a big thing for him out
7.
there, playing probably the best player the world's seen live on TV. Probably hasn't done that too many times.
And he can certainly get back
14.
into the frame here. It's unlikely that Ronnie will clear from here with those 2 reds being where they are, but you never know with O'Sullivan. He's very apt at clearing the table
15.
wherever the balls are, but that looks like end of break unless he goes, it misses the kiss on brown and yellow. Well, he's playing the black in the middle. Probably played it that way because he knew that with the black being off its spot, even if he missed it, would have been a tough opening red for Vinny. So there wasn't too bad a choice. That it looks a bit reckless, doesn't it? But with the black going out of play, it's tough to get on pink or black from here. Just make sure you miss the cannon on the green here with playing this safety shot. You need to find the top cushion. And he's done that very well.
That looked very good. Cue ball just wants to keep on travelling. As Willie just said, it's very fast. Normally it takes a couple of days for it all, the humidity and everything else, to sort of dry out and the cloth to settle in, the tables to settle down, get used to the atmosphere.
A little bit careless there. It's not all about getting the cue ball safe, you've got to make sure you get the object ball safe as well. And he played that very quickly without thinking where the object ball was going to end up. But Ronnie's not settled yet, even though he's winning 1-0. He's missed more shots in the opening 2 frames than he normally misses in a match.
One.
Well, he wiped his feet, but it found its way into the pocket. It was a good pot. Right, this is all about the position now. He's over it, that. He's landed on the red to the centre if he was to go for a little roll in. Just got to make sure the red, he'll be on pink or black. And that's very well played. She's just got to hold herself together now.
Doesn't have the angle on the pink to get into it in its own pocket. Oh, that's careless. Gonna miss that kiss on the blue there. Look at the scoreboard, we're telling him he's 20 points in front, so yellow and green needed.
Twelve.
So this is frame ball. That's what's commonly known in the trade as a twitch.
Calabresi. 12.
Well, they're not going in clean at the minute for Ronnie. The check side. He didn't play to finish there, but he'll be pretty happy where it's finished. Why is he playing exhibition shots? I ask myself.
12.
A little wry smile from Ronnie. What's he doing?
18.
Amazing. Well, for some reason, Ronnie's trying to get his cueing going by playing shots with a lot of side round the table, but what he has done, he's played very poorly, but he's taken the opening 2 frames, and he leads 2-0. The thing is, Dan, you must know when you played like Reardon when he was the #1 in the world, you're very anxious, and of course he's got game ball here on the green. He doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball, just roll it in. He's ended up trying to screw it in with side. Yeah,
I agree. He potted an harder ball than that, the yellow, the shot before the green. You'll have expected to have potted the green. The yellow was much more of a difficult shot, and once he potted the yellow, you would have thought he's going to win the frame. You'd be very, very disappointed.
Well, the thing is, when you're a young player like this, you've just got to take your chances. And he must be amazed that he's had so many chances against Ronnie. And Ronnie, as we saw those last few shots of the match, he's playing almost exhibition shots to try and get his cue arm going. I've never seen a top player do that when he needs to clear the table. He played the last 3 shots as exhibition shots.
Yeah, and also I think a little bit of frustration probably that the way the first 2 frames are gone, with him missing a couple of balls that he wouldn't have expected to have missed. But he enjoyed himself at the end of that frame, we'll say, and it looked good.
Yeah, but it's best of 7, and he's played the blue round 3 cushions to get on the pink round 3 cushions to get on the black. And of course, if he loses the frame, goes 1 each, who would say that would not give Vinny the confidence to go on and press forward in this match? It was a dangerous way to play them, but he's won.
Thanks. The third frame.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan just having a look round at the 4-table arena we have here, and he realised he'd forgot it was his turn to break. So Ronnie O'Sullivan breaking off in frame 3, and it goes without saying it's a must for Vinny to win. That was a quick glance of the arena. We've got 11 tables here on show, and 4 in the main arena and 7 behind the main arena. 128 players are playing in this venue, and there's what a wonderful arena it is. Good pot, could have done without the kiss, unless the pink pots.
1.
It's pretty close. Played for the blue or bought colour there, so here's a bonus if the pink pots. It must pot the way it's looking at getting on the next red.
Seven.
Well, that's 3 occasions he's missed a relatively straightforward ball. And one has to feel a little bit sorry for Vinny at the moment. He's finding this very, very hard to cope with, playing Ronnie O'Sullivan on the main television table. He's a lot better player than this. Always need to come and look at the pack when you're playing this kind of shot, because there could be a red go right over the pocket if he catches it wrong. He caught it thin enough. His safety's been pretty good this afternoon. Just when he's in the balls he's not settled.
He'll settle for that one. He didn't have much of a gap there to find his way back, but he managed to find it. Now he needs that cue ball to travel a bit more to stop Vinny getting to the potting angle of this red, the corner pocket. Well, you can see there how tight it is. I think he can just about get through, but if he goes for it, this is going to have to go in, and I think we might see him play it with a little bit of pace. Well, he's a bit unlucky there. He's played for the cannon to land on the pink.
Vinny Calabresi, 1.
This is tough to get safe. Maybe worth just rolling up to the 2 reds to the right of the black and leaving the white on the cushion. Okay, Ronnie would have a chance at the red on the pink spot, but if he pots that, good luck to him. There's not an easy safety shot here. He's not looked at that option, but that's as good as any. Playing this cross double, he has to find the baulk cushion. Not playing the pot, of course, just playing the cross double on the red. That's a handy kiss. That's a Brucey bonus.
Well, there's not a lot really you can say about that shot. It just looks like someone playing like he thinks he's got nothing to beat. He wouldn't play that shot in a fit normally. Looking slightly bemused. Now it's up to Vinny Calabrese to make him pay for that. Right, now he's potted the red. He's on the black. His red's out in the open. Just got to let Ronnie know that he's still got something to beat yet.
Six. Seven.
Because these tables are so quick, it's essential you get the pace right on a shot like this, and that's not too bad. Played for a choice of 2 reds. Ideally, you'd like to get rid of the pink as soon as possible, just to clear that right-hand corner pocket. Can't really do it in the next 3 or 4 shots. Don't really want to be going in and out of baulk when making a break too often. That's a poor shot. This green's not a certainty. Played it nicely though.
$80.
I suppose he's wondering about playing the run in and out of baulk. Would he kiss the yellow? So he's looking at an alternative way of playing it.
90.
Just needs to get onto the black or pink off this next red to make the break a little bit easier. Because he can bring reds into play if he gets nicely on the
23.
Black or pink. And once again, I think he's finished completely the wrong angle. Just looking to see what he can get on the pink now.
Yes, there was a little wry smile off him. He needed that cue ball just to slow up about an inch.
24.
You'd expect him to pot the pink, and he's got the red then just above the pink to the right. So he hasn't got to do a lot with the cue ball. It's already 32 points to the good.
May struggle to hold for that red down, so may have to play for the one that's in the middle of the table.
You mean the one I said he was going to play for Wills, is it?
No, I thought you meant the one below the black.
No, the one
Sorry,
up above the pink, mate. No problemo.
He's not on it. So that's a poor shot. Played for the red in the middle. Decided to player safety, but doesn't really want to bring these reds into play. It's 38 points in front. There's a little bit of mileage in taking the double on here, because I mean, if he's the white where the red is, he's left nothing on, and he's on the blue, but decided against it, playing a safety.
Vinny Calabresi, 30. One.
There's nothing wrong with his cueing, because that's about as good as it gets.
One.
What a clean strike that was.
Already looking at the angle on this when potting the pink, leave a half ball angle on the red to bring the other two reds into play. But he's gone too far to do that now.
7.
So what kind of angle will he get on this next black?
8.
Not a good one. Good recovery though.
15. 16.
Now he may play the slow cannon onto the two reds here to bring them into play. So he's just trying to flick one out here. He just needs a little bit of side to flick the red out. Unlucky.
21.
Knowing that if he missed the cannon, he would still be on the red.
22.
He's not bad, is he, this fella? Plays those delicate cannons
29.
better than anybody, really. Well, you saw the expression on Ronnie's face as we see the cannon he played then. He was amazed how high that white came up the table. So dropping the pink in the middle is dangerous, but if it goes in, they'll be on the next red.
$36.
It never misses a trick
37.
trying to mature reds. In fairness, the kisses worked out okay. I think he can run through off this blue. I can screw back and try and bring the red into play as well. He seems a bit bemused with him. There's a lot of smiling going on from Ronnie this afternoon. Oh, are you kidding? He played the double.
Brian Sullivan, 42.
He's covered the one red, and I wonder what Vinny's thinking about all of this.
Ronnie had a little wry smile up to us in the commentary box there, Darren, didn't he? As if he's kind of enjoying experimenting at the moment, but you know, Vinny's too good a player to take too many liberties with him.
Well, he went for that one as well. I think at the minute he's just interested in potting, but if this red goes past the black, and I think it does, this is a great chance for Vinny now. You'd say this is his last chance. He's really got to win this frame with this effort. There's nothing safe. Oh, and he's missed an easy black.
Vinny Calabresi, 1.
The difference is there. You see, he hit at that black to get the reaction from the cue ball. When the top players in the game play the deep screw on the black, they hit it half that pace. So his timing is off at the moment, Vinny, and that's well, that's one he wouldn't miss once in 100 in practice. It shows you what difference match situations can change the way you think, and that for me is end of match for Vinny.
7.
Just can't afford to miss those.
$10.
Brown and blue needed.
$14.
You'd have to say it's been workmanlike from O'Sullivan, albeit he's leading 3-0. he'd have left as
90.
many chances against a player in form, he might have been 3-0 behind. No breaks of any significance in that frame, but Ronnie O'Sullivan won't be too worried about that. He's one away from victory and leads by 3 frames to 0.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan close to moving into the second round. We'll be back very shortly with that match. But Dominic Dale has been playing, and I can tell you the Welshman and 28th in the world is out. He's lost 4-3 here to England's Michael Wasley, who's ranked 88th. Wasley now plays Lee Hang in round 2 after he beat Jack Lisowski by the same scoreline. So, Terry Griffiths, how disappointing is that for Dominic Dale, given the gulf between those two players?
Well, there isn't that much of a gulf, really. In the rankings, it's a little bit deceptive. I mean, Michael Wasley lost to Dominic in the World Championships last year after beating Ding in the first round. And he's lost to him another time last season, but it's not that big a shock. There's no such thing as shocks these days. There's so many good players. There's no easy draws anymore, and Michael Wasley's a very good player.
No such thing as shocks, you say, and we're not likely to see one in this match, are we? Ronnie seemingly on his way through to round 2. How do you assess this match so far?
I think Vinny's just missing too many easy balls, and they're coming at very important times in the frame, late on when he can nick a frame. He's missed a black, he missed a green the previous frame. I mean, Ronnie be thinking, well, I'm going to do a lot to win this one now. He's a better player than this, Vinny.
Well, let's see if he can finish it out then. Ronnie, let's rejoin Willie and Darren.
Yes, it's been a good afternoon so far for Ronnie. Not so good for Vinny Calabrese. I do agree with what Terry just said. Vinny's missed way too many easy balls and at very important times. 2 of these frames should definitely have gone his way. But there's no way back, I feel. He's going to need a little bit of a miracle.
Yes, it's hard to say at this stage whether Vinny will lose this match 4-0, but if he takes the tape away from this game and studies it, he'll realise he could have led 3-0, but he's taken his chances. And that's an excellent safety shot from Ronnie. That's the best safety shot he's played in the match so far. Very dangerous those, especially when you're hitting it hard and the white's coming out of baulk. Ronnie will attempt some sort of pot here, depends on which one. Choice of 3 reds available, all of which can get onto pink or black.
One.
Ronnie can't believe how bad that's reacted off the cushion.
Green ball.
What he feels, he played with so much check side there, he was entitled to find the gap in between the pack of reds and the pink, and we may get a chance to show you that again in a few moments' time. Here's the shot. Now he's playing with lots of check side, and what he's saying is that it just checked up too much. He couldn't believe how it reacted.
He could have done without the kiss on the green, but other than that, that was a very well played safety by Vinny. Now the way Ronnie's been playing the last 3 frames, you can expect him either to take this red to the left corner or the one to the right corner. because he has had his attacking boots on, as you can see that one there. That one to the left. It's a little bit tight with the blue.
Well, he's not happy with the cushions, Ronnie, is he, Darren? He's walked around the table and felt every cushion. Maybe he feels the cloth's a little bit too tight on the back rail there.
Well, we said, haven't we, how fast the table's playing, and there has been a couple of big bounces off that back cushion. He struck that.
1.
Well, considering he's played very loose this afternoon, he's played 3 or 4 long pots that you have to be queuing at your very, very best. Unlike his situation, Ronnie playing with the rest, you'd think he wouldn't be one of the best players in the world with the rest, considering he doesn't use it very often. But as you can see, normally it doesn't make any difference at all.
6. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 6.
There's nothing wrong with his potting, is it? These long pots.
3.
The red just above the black spot will pot in the corner, so it doesn't have to do too much with his pink here. And he's playing for the outside red rather than play for that red I was talking about. Definitely have a little bit to do with the cue ball there. I want to be getting the wrong side of the blue.
Yes, I think the reason he's played that one, Willie, was obviously the pink spot was covered. It's gone to the black spot, which made it a little bit tighter with that red to the right. Just not being in control of the cue ball today. He's made a lot of good pots. Just hasn't made enough from his opportunities. Well, I think he's fortunate there because that's not what he's played. And this is not a gimme. Be the top red, I think, of the... When I say the top, if it goes, it could be the bottom red. You can see that's tight. It's tight to get the potting angle of the bottom red, and I think the top one is very tight whether it goes. Well, no problems there.
15.
Nicely on the blue.
Well, looks like all these 6 reds at this and around the pink spot area are covering each other up. But we know that the one to the right of the pink pot, so maybe you have to just play a little stun run through on the blue and get onto that red. Yeah, he's played that nicely. Oh, well, I didn't expect him to get that much side on. Why not play it plain ball?
20.
Anywhere but there. If he plays it plain ball, is perfect, but he's got that much side on. As you can see there, it's just ran away from him and no shot on now, I don't think. I don't think these reds pot in the middle.
Calabresi, 20.
Good safety shot there. Oh, Ronnie was in trouble when he came to the table there. Another excellent safety shot from O'Sullivan. Vinny must have thought when he got him in trouble it would be tough for Ronnie to play a shot to put him in trouble, but that's what he's done. Now he needs that white to travel. It hasn't done so. Half a chance for O'Sullivan. Not attempting a pot. It's amazing Ronnie has his own way of doing things. He's played so many reckless shots in this match so far. Then when it looked like a chance to win frame and match, he's played another excellent safety. And that safety could have won in the frame and match.
One.
Well, he's only just on this blue. He's had to just drop it in and leave himself a bit further away from this red.
6. Seven.
Back in perfect position now. And I think the difference for Ronnie O'Sullivan these days, he's probably now got the best safety game in the pro game besides the break building and the long potting.
12.
The safety side of his game is unbelievable, the way it's come on over the years. It's made him a complete player.
13.
And very exciting at the same time.
Could play the cannon on the red at the middle red of those 3 reds to hold the white at this end of the table, but reluctant to play the black because it would go back on its own spot and cover the red that's to the right of the black spot. So playing the slightly more difficult blue and not played it that well.
18. Brilliant, Sullivan. 18.
I'm sure Vinny would be amazed at how many chances he's had in this match. If he'd have been playing a player ranked below, say, the top 30 or 40 in the world, he wouldn't get this many chances against them.
And it is one thing for certain, Willie, if it had been against them, you can't help but think he'd have took some of the chances. It's only for the fact that this is live on TV and he is playing Ronnie O'Sullivan. So again, he's got another opportunity. I keep saying it, he's got to make one of them count.
8. 9. 16. 17.
A little bit careless there, finishing slightly the wrong angle on the black. The reason I say that, this can go wrong. It's a result. If he kissed that red 4 ball, it would have been on nothing.
24.
As it happens, he's played it nicely.
Vinny Calabresi. 24.
He's had some chances in this match, hasn't he?
To be fair, though, he hit that well, but he caught the near jaw, and these pockets don't like it if they catch the near jaw. That pocket already this afternoon, there's been a couple that's been hit, looked like they were going to go in. Bit slower, might have dropped in. He's landed a little bit straight on this red.
8.
See what he does with it. No problem, get in there.
9.
But there is no colour.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 9.
So fast these tables, as we saw that white kept rolling and rolling. Normally Ronnie would just play the safety shot, but you never know with Ronnie's mood today. He might take this on. Take it on, he has done. And he's left a free ball. Now will he
Calabresi.
attempt to pot the green in the
4.
middle? If he does, he can win the
And a
frame at
free
this
ball.
visit.
Green ball.
14 points in front, this will be 16. Now surely he's going to get a frame on the board now.
2. 4.
Well done, Vinny.
7.
That's pretty pleasing for his supporters here, because it would have been a shame to get whitewashed the way the chances he'd had.
11. 16.
So then it's a good exciting finish. As we said, Vinny Calabresi will be feeling a little bit better. Ronnie O'Sullivan would have thought he should be back in his dressing room, but he still leads 3 frames to 1.
So not quite so straightforward after all then for Ronnie O'Sullivan, Terry. We thought that Calabresi had missed out the opportunity in the second frame when he missed that green, but he's got a frame.
He's got a frame finally. He's had a few chances, as the boys have been mentioning in commentary, but Ronnie was very unlucky there. He pot that last red and kissed the brown in and gave Vinny a free ball, and to be fair, it's the first time he's actually clinched a frame, so he'll gain confidence from that, Vinny.
How much better will he be feeling now?
Well, he couldn't feel worse than 3-0 down against Ronnie O'Sullivan and missing his chances, so I think it'll be a bit of a boost for him now.
Talk to us about that second frame then, because that was when Ronnie appeared to allow Calabresi in, and Calabresi had that opportunity and then he missed the green.
I think he's had chances in most of the frames. It's just that the green was a winning ball, and then he missed a black off the spot, which is a winning ball. And they get you down as a snooker player. If you don't get chances, you feel a lot better, even if you do lose the frame. But when you got chances, your sort of confidence sort of slowly ebbs out of your body, or very quickly sometimes.
You made the point to me a few moments ago. This kind of sums up the difference between these two players. If you look at the career prize earnings, you look at Ronnie, who's earned, £8.2 million, and then Calabresi, 10,600. That kind of puts it all into perspective, the chasm between these two players.
Well, there is. I mean, there's a big gulf between the talents of the two players, and that's not been unfair to Vinny. But he hasn't actually shown his best form today. But of course, Ronnie's been around for a long time for his 8 million, whereas Vinny's only been a professional for a short space of time. But he hasn't really showed his best form, and it's difficult coming over from Australia, as his friend Neil Robertson found out. He went off tour, Neil Robertson, once, and look, he came back then #1 in the world champion. He's done it all. So who knows with Vinny? He may, if he sticks at it, he may turn it round.
Interesting you mentioned Neil Robertson, because of course they practice together, don't they? Calabresi and Robertson, they are friends, fellow Aussies. How much would that have helped, do you think, Calabresi, practicing with someone of Robertson's calibre?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, it would be, Neil's an exceptional player, and I'm sure he'll give him a bit of advice as well that'll help him along. But at the end of the day, when you go out there in snooker, you're by yourself. And no matter what advice you get, when you get on the table, you've got to do it under the extreme pressure.
You're just wondering, aren't you, if you're Ronnie O'Sullivan, and you're wondering if you feel a little bit of pressure, perhaps, when you haven't played this guy before. It's round one, so much expectation on you as the defending champion. You might be a little bit nervous if you're Ronnie, possibly.
I think it's before you go out there, you think, well, I've got nothing to lose. But when you go out there, it isn't quite like that. You know, you have got a lot to lose, and he would have been very disappointed. Ronnie's a bit disappointed the way he's played, I feel, so far. But Vinny would be very disappointed, you know, and I think it's underestimating things to say that he's going to be under a lot of pressure against Ronnie. Everybody's under pressure against Ronnie, even the best players in the world.
OK, well, let's see how he deals with that pressure as we take you to the fifth frame. O'Sullivan leading 3-1. Darren and Willie.
It's interesting to hear Terry's comments there, and it's very, very true, the fact that he does practice with Neil Robertson, and it's a great example to any players that are bidding to become good players in this game. I mean, Robertson, as Terry mentioned, lost his tour card, and to be honest, the first year he stayed at my club in Leicester, and it literally, I never thought he'd be a top 32 player. And all of a sudden his dedication and practice and his cue action, all of a sudden he's become one of the greatest players ever. So it just shows you, if you put the work in, you've got every chance of getting on. But as Terry mentioned, once you're out there, it's all about you. And Robertson's blessed with an unbelievable temperament. We don't yet know whether Vinny will have that sort of temperament in his career. But he's missed a few easy ones today. But he's still in the match.
Well, that just shows you how fast this table is. And he tapped that cue ball, just kept on running and running. Perfect weight. That's a loose one from Ronnie.
One.
Well, taking that frame has taken a little bit of the pressure off Vinny, I think. Come on, blue into the pink. You know it's the right shot. You've got to play it. Well done. Needs a bit of good fortune. Didn't quite catch the pink full enough. A little bit unlucky, but does have half a chance of reds into both middles. Needs to hit that pink full in the face you just saw there. It kissed it half ball. Little unlucky to finish close to the black though. He would have been able to attempt this pot without any problem. I still think he should play the pot that into the green pocket, the one at the outside of the pack. Just still on off the cushion for the black. No real pressure on the pot. Is he playing the one in the middle? A lot more difficult red, but played very well.
It's one thing for certain, he don't hang about. Vinny, he likes to get on with it.
13.
Very, very fast player. Sometimes criticism might be a little bit too fast. Doesn't give himself enough time on the shot.
Oh,
he came round to look at the angle he needed. I don't think he's quite got the desired angle to go into them unless he goes around two cushions into them. That's what he's played. Well, that's unlucky. He's gone into the pack twice in this break and
90.
As yet not got the desired position. Could have played that shot a lot better.
Vinny Calabresi 90.
pockets appear a little bit nippy. I mean, some tournaments you see those reds drop. We've seen a couple along the top cushion that have stayed on the pocket, so maybe these are a little tighter this week.
One.
There was an example of give yourself options, because obviously you don't want to finish the wrong side of the blue, so purposely Ronnie there played for the blue, but at a pace that if he slightly got it wrong he would have a baulk colour. A lot of players underhit that shot so often that they have to go in and out of baulk, which makes it obviously very difficult.
4.
Yes, and this is not a gimme. You want it to be a lot closer to this red. You'd expect him to pot it. There's a little disturbance in the crowd. Someone taking their seat. Well, he's played it well. I think he's gone a little bit straighter on this black than he'd have liked.
Twelve. 13.
That was a good pot. Try and force the way through the middle of the 3 reds just above the black there. So he played it with topspin there just to push through the red. And he'll be flicking off the
20.
reds here to get back onto the black, and that goes nicely.
21.
And under normal circumstances Ronnie would possibly win the frame at this visit, but I'm not too sure whether he's feeling too good at the moment.
28. 29. 34. 35.
So this is starting to look a little bit ominous now for Vinny Calabrese.
40.
Kubal's just run on a little bit. Just one good pot and one good positional shot.
41.
So he's got options here. The red at the bottom of the cluster does go to left corner, but he could play the cannon if he so chooses. Well, I'm looking at that. Does the red at the top of the cluster go to the left corner as well? I don't think so.
$47.
Great pot that was, but he's lost the cue ball.
Well, if he takes this long blue on to screw back for the red, it's very, very dangerous. Didn't quite get into the white though. He hit that well enough, he felt, to have got the screw back. I think he thinks he's got a kick there with the wry smile on his face. So 33 points in front,
52.
very close to the winning post.
This is unusual for Ronnie today. He got that red at the left corner. He's elected to play the shot to nothing. He's played it well. He's got a very good cue ball. He's got to go for this red, really. There's no easy safety shot, and I'm sure he'd rather, if he's going to go out of this tournament, go out going for a pot and playing safe. It's all about this red. If he goes in, I think Vinny's on his way home.
One.
So one more red and colour needed after this pink. Wow, can you believe it? Ronnie can't.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Oh, I can't see the reason he missed this at all. Just probably didn't get the enough right-hand side, and he was playing to go around the back of the black. So a reprieve for Vinny, and this is a great chance to get even closer in this match at 3-2. Nothing too difficult from here.
Yes, and if he could do it, will he? Pull this frame out of the bag. All of a sudden,
8.
might give Ronnie something to think about, because he has played
9.
very loosely, you'd have to say, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Obviously a long way to go. He's still got to make a lot of pots to have any chance in his frame, and he's just overscrewed that blue. Don't think there's a problem in potting the red, but it's holding the cue ball. Well, I think that's it.
Vinny Calabresi, 14.
Yeah, it was the only place he couldn't finish, wasn't it? Tight on the cushion. Made the red missable. Ronnie's a little bit concerned about this red being available. It's finished tight on the cushion. But in it goes.
1.
So yellow needed for a 4-1 victory. He's so disappointed the way the balls are reacting at the moment. He's doing a lot of sighing,
7.
a lot of grimaces on his face. I think it's the cushions as well. He's not happy with the way they're responding.
9.
But that doesn't matter now. Ronnie O'Sullivan is safely into the next round. And what a learning match this has been for Vinny. He will know now that he's created chances from some good safety play,
12.
but just hasn't produced. He'll be very disappointed to have missed so many chances as he's had.
16.
You would have to say it's been workmanlike from O'Sullivan this afternoon.
21.
But one of the best positional shots you'll ever see has just been played.
Oh.
No problem, I'm sure the handshake will come, and then Vinny knows he's had every chance in this match, but it's the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan that's pleased his army of fans here at the Newport Centre at the Cardiff Arena, of course, and he's gone into the next round. He's the victor by 4 frames to 1.
Yeah, a little smile from the Rocket as he makes his way off stage. He is through to the second round of the 2015 Welsh Open. So, workmanlike was the word that Willie Thorne used at the end there, Terry Griffiths. Would you agree?
Well, Ronnie never looks workmanlike. I mean, he makes the game look very easy at times, you know, and when he misses an easy ball, you can't believe it. I mean, his opponent wouldn't believe it, and the spectators don't, you know, but the game is a tough game to play, and Ronnie knows that. But he has missed a few very easy balls today, which you wouldn't expect. But after saying that, he's the defending champion. It's the first round, which is always difficult for the top seeds and defending champion, and he's come through the match. I mean, Vinny would be very disappointed with his performance.
Did the pressure get to Calabresi today?
I think the pressure always gets to you.
When you're playing someone like Ronnie?
No, the pressure's there for Ronnie as well.
Yeah.
It's a different type of pressure, but all the players feel pressure all the time.
What kind of pressure would he have been feeling, though? I mean, he's the defending champion. He's in great form. Why would he be feeling pressure?
The pressure comes with a little bit of disappointment the way you're striking the ball as well, and he missed a few shots you wouldn't expect to miss. So then the disappointment comes in, and that in its own way puts a little bit of pressure on you then when you're playing. He's expected to win. You know, he's got everything to lose and nothing to gain. The
crowd have all come here, haven't they, hoping to see Ronnie go through. Talk to us about Calabresi then, because he had his opportunities, didn't he, in that game?
Yes, you generally do get opportunities, but against Ronnie O'Sullivan, you don't normally get that many.
And here is the defending champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Right.
Welcome. Emotions after that, Ronnie? Relieved? Happy?
No, not really. Just enjoyed it, just went for my shots. You can't take it too serious out there. There's so much going on, it's really difficult to concentrate, you know. You should, you know, start playing in a shopping mall.
Do you think so?
There was just people walking around, there's people getting up, and, you know, it's just kind of like, it's difficult to kind of get your head around, to be honest with you.
Too many distractions.
Well, I mean, you can put up with distractions, but when people are just walking around as and when they feel, it's kind of like the etiquette of snooker is that when someone's on the shot, I mean, territory, that you know, you like people, you can put up with a bit of noise or whatever, but when people are just getting up and walking around, it's a bit difficult to sort of focus on the game.
Because we sort of were reading your body language throughout that match, and you looked frustrated at times.
No,
what was going on, or was that the people wandering around?
No, you can't get frustrated. You just got to just enjoy it and just go out there and don't take it too serious. Because if you take it too serious and you kind of got all that going on, then you're going to get frustrated. So I just thought I might as well just have a laugh out there and just smash a few balls in. Have a bit of fun. If you lose, great. If you don't, you know, see you at 8 o'clock tonight. We'll have a bit more fun.
And you certainly seemed to do that, didn't you? Because after Calabresi missed that green in the second frame, then you were playing exhibition stuff, weren't you?
Yeah, well, I didn't really care. You know, if I'd have won, great. If I lost, you know, I'm not really looking forward to coming back to playing tonight in these conditions. You know, hopefully once they get down to the last 32 or last 16, it'll be like a proper event. But you know, most events now are 1 to 8, and it is a bit like, you know, it's just the venues can't really handle it, and it's just a bit of it's like a car boot sale, really. You know, so the first 2 or 3 rounds you've just got to kind of get in and scrummage your way through if you can, and try and, you know, put up with the substandard kind of conditions of the event.
You've led us on to a chat about the new venue then. It doesn't sound like you're too happy with it.
I don't like it, to be fair. I thought Newport was probably one of the best venues I've ever played at, so I was really gutted to see it go. I had played here, so I knew what type of venue it was. It's like playing in an aircraft hangar, so it's a bit difficult. You know, the atmosphere is not as great, the acoustics is not as good. So from a snooker player's perspective, it's nowhere near as good a venue as Newport, but from the 1 to 8 format, you need venues that are big enough to kind of take 1 to 8 players.
Difficult one then, Terry, isn't it? You made the point to me earlier that a lot of these players here have got to hang around and wait a long time because they don't know when they're going to be going on exactly.
Yes, and of course they're chasing their practice as well. They're trying to get practice, and there's so many players here you can't get on the table to practice.
Half a table each. I've never seen it before. You know, they're playing with the yellow.
That's right. One hit in the yellow, and one hit in the white.
I mean, if you told someone that top professional sportsmen are doing that, they'd laugh at you. They'd kind of go, "You're having a laugh," you know. But that's just how it is, you know. Go on, you carry on.
No, you carry on. We're talking to you. How did you find that match anyway against Calabresi?
I enjoyed it.
You've never played him before.
No, I enjoyed it. You know, like I said, I just went out there and had a bit of fun. There's no pressure. There was no point in taking it too serious, and I just kind of had a little wazz at a few shots and just tried to make the best of, best of what it was.
Yeah. Terry said you might have been feeling a little bit of pressure though, defending champion.
No, I don't feel pressure.
A little bit.
I love it. I thrive on it.
John Pullman told me once. He said, anybody tells you in snooker that they don't get pressure, they're lying.
Yeah, but people who win like to have pressure because that makes them perform. So I'd like to add that as well. You know, if I wasn't feeling pressured, then I would never play as well as I know. You know, when I play my best, I'm always adrenaline up. If I'm not feeling the adrenaline, then I know I'm never going to play well. So I like the pressure. Some people don't like performing with that pressure.
Yeah, and how are you getting around the table? Because of course you broke your ankle last autumn. How is it?
No, the ankle's good.
No problems.
The ankle's fantastic. Yeah. Stronger than ever.
Do you feel that you are in good form at the moment? Because of course you won the UK Championship, you broke new records at the Masters. Are you in some of the best form of your career at the moment?
I feel like the last 3 or 4 years I've been in some of my best form. So you know, I'm just enjoying that, riding that wave as long as it lasts, and you know, long may it continue.
Okay, well, Ronnie, thank you for joining us. All the best for the rest of the tournament. I hope you enjoy the rest of the week if you haven't necessarily enjoyed
No, I love it.
Today's
you just got to get your head around it.
New venue. Ronnie, thanks very much indeed. So let's turn our attention to the home challenge then, and the Welsh effort led, as ever it seems, by Mark Williams, the 2 times former champion. Contrary to the odd rumour that's done the rounds, he's not retiring, he is here, and he started early today against China's Liu Hoshan. Well, it was certainly a good start for the Welshman. Williams took a 2-0 lead in this game. We're going to join it from frame 3. Leo is at the table, leading 43-0.
Just couldn't quite get through to that red. Didn't actually play it like that. He was hoping the white would go nearer to the side cushion. Left Mark Williams one of his favourite shots, which is a slow drop into this red, into the corner. Gentle pace. Just gives that red a little bit more chance of going in off the corners. We won't be too happy with that one.
8, touching ball.
Still taking this red on. Another gentle shot. Just had enough weight to go in the pocket.
$15. 16.
Mark Williams, of course, the only Welsh player to win the Welsh Open, and we've got 12 Welsh players in this year. Of course, there's 128 on the starting line. We mustn't be biased, of course. It would be nice, though, to have a Welsh winner again.
$31.
Let's be greedy. Let's have a winner and a finalist being Welsh.
$38. $39.
Well, they look well set now for Mark Williams to pinch this frame from 43 points behind.
$46. $47.
Both these reds available. Good red up with the yellow, of course, it could be a problem.
$54. 55.
Well, yeah, I think he played for the red into the left centre pocket, but he's looking now if he'll go past the blue into the corner. Could go off the yellow, that'll clear the red. He played that, you know. Very clever shot, but didn't quite cast the yellow at the right angle for the red to go in. He had to clear the yellow away from the pocket because the last red wouldn't have been available if the other one had gone in. Oh, that's a long way out.
One. Six. Seven.
That's the important pot then for Mark Williams.
12.
Didn't take any risks, played the snooker behind the black.
Mark Williams 12 on the third frame.
Concession though, Mark Williams has won the first 3 frames and looking very good.
So Mark Williams looking pretty happy. He's 1 frame away from a place in the second round. We'll rejoin the match in frame 4. Liu at the table, trailing 33-0.
The pink? Yeah. Hit the pink?
Well, can you get through to this red on the corner? He's asking the referee something.
Definitely the pink.
Did you see the pink? I didn't see.
I couldn't see from here because I only got the small monitor.
Please, Mark.
Definitely.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see. Maybe it's my mistake. No, no, sorry.
Quite sure what happened then. Well, we have a look here. Well, what happened was, of course, he hit the pink and he's trying to hit the red. Liu did so. That's Mark Williams has questioned the scoreboard.
What?
Not the easiest of chances here with the black title on the cushion, but pink is available into the centre and at least one of the corners. 34 points in front, so keeps the cue ball under control. There's a good chance of clinching frame and match. Wow.
Mark Williams 1.
Wow, wow. That wasn't expected.
One.
This is the first chance that he was had for a little while. Hasn't been at his best today. Well, that chance goes by.
Blue Hudson, 4.
Obviously 3-0 behind. He's desperate to clinch a frame. Try and get back into it somehow or other, because Mark Williams has been quite impressive so far. He missed the pink in the middle, which is the first easy ball he's missed for a while. Oh, that wasn't even close, that red.
Six. Seven.
Back up for the blue. 2 reds in the open. So Mark Williams ranked 16 in the world at the moment. He's back into the top 16. He's been slipped in and out of that that position over the last few years. He's produced some of his old form, should we say, a few times, but hasn't really been as consistent as he was in his prime. I must say that nobody really wants to draw him. Tough opponent. You feel that one tournament victory for Mark Williams may turn things round for him. He's got close a few times, but hasn't won for a while.
Twenty-four. Mark Williams, 24.
Well, he's 54 points in front and just 51 left on the table. Another red goes by. Mark Williams get another chance. Surely this will be the end. Mark Williams hasn't worked too hard to win this match, but he looks certain to take it now. He'll be pleased. The first round is never easy.
Mark Williams, 6.
And that's it. A concession. Mark Williams then goes into the second round, winning that match by 4 frames to 0.
I'm happy with that because I know a lot of people probably want to know who he is, and he's a youngster. But I know all the players on tour know how good he is and got the potential to, to do whatever he can really. He beat Dominic to qualify for India on Friday, which I suppose is not hard, but he nearly beat Neil Robertson then the day after, so I knew it was going to be tough for me, and didn't expect to win 4-0, but overall happy with a couple of breaks I made and won a couple of frames from behind. Best of sevens, it's another PTC event really. It's a shame because this venue was fantastic, and I think hopefully they'll look at it and maybe put it back to best of nines, where I think the tournament deserves to be. Best of sevens is for PTC events, and I think that's where the best of sevens should stop.
Well, we'll get on to that debate about best of sevens, best of nines in just a few moments. But Terry, Mark Williams is through. He'll be happy with that. He'll be relieved, won't he?
Yes, it's not his favourite tournament, the Welsh Open, because a lot of his friends, family come down, and he's always complained about feeling a bit more pressure because of that, you know. But he's still a wily old dog, and I'm telling you, he's got to be beaten by anybody. If he gets his game going, he is a tough opponent.
Knows how to get around the table and played well today.
Played well enough to win 4-0 against a very good up-and-coming young Chinese player, but Mark would have liked to have played a little bit better than that possibly, but are they ever happy? He's won 4-0 and he won't be happy, I don't think. No.
What will he need to do then? How will he need to improve before his second round?
I think what Mark needs at the moment, he needs to win a big tournament. I mean, he's been lacking big wins. He's been used to them throughout his career, you know, and he's probably one of the best match players I've ever seen in snooker, and that's saying something. I won't say he's the best player, but he's the best match player. He's a great fighter, you know. He's towards the end of frames, he's very, very dangerous. He licks a lot of frames when he's not playing well. He's quite happy with imperfection at times, Mark Williams, which is a very difficult thing to do under pressure. And I think he just needs a win.
He said recently, didn't he, I think, that he's playing as well as he's likely to play. He won't perhaps get any better than he was at his peak. But what do you make of what he said about the format, the structure, that he thinks it should be best of 9 rather than 7, certainly at this early stage?
Well, it's not going to happen this year, I can tell you now. It goes to best of 9 in the quarterfinals. And then I think it's best of 11 in the semis and best of 17 in the finals. So there's plenty of frames there. But early on, because of the number of players on tour, we come back to the magic 1-2-8. You know, they've just cut it down a little bit to try and get the matches finished in time, you know, for us to go to bed in the middle of the night.
OK, Terry, thank you for the moment. Then our next match features the world number 4 up against one of the rising stars of British snooker, James Cahill. Now, you might remember Cahill from the UK Championships, a big scalp for him up in York as he beat Ding Junhui, the current number 3, 6-5 in the last 32 before losing to Mark Davis, currently ranked 676th in the world. But another tough one today for Cahill as he comes up against the world number 4.
Well, you get to do something for a living that you really love, you know, travelling around the world and seeing a lot of nice places. At the moment, I absolutely love Game of Thrones, waiting for the new series of that to come out. Got withdrawals, actually. The Only Way is Essex. I absolutely hate the show. I think it's absolute garbage, I really do. I don't know how people watch it. Justin Bieber. I'm an unbeliever. Yeah, I quite like Michael McIntyre. I think he's quite funny. There's a lot of female comedians that, for me, I don't know, I just can't watch it. If they start talking about, you know, quite sort of personal things and that, I don't want to hear that. Honesty, I think. I like people who, you know, say what they believe. People who are very opinionated but not really willing to learn the facts before they talk about it. Probably my nose is a little bit bent. I copped a bit of a whack to the face in a nightclub many years ago, and yeah, so it's just a little bit off straight. Sometimes I used to just turn up at lunchtime for PE and then just go home and go to my dad's club and play snooker. Everything else apart from PE and art. Seeing your kids develop, I suppose, day after day, week after week. When I've just put Alexander's all his Lego and toys away, and then he just tips the box upside down, and then it just goes all over the lounge room. And
So it's the 2007 Wales Open champion Neil Robertson against the rookie James Cahill. We're going to go live to frame 1. Your commentary team is Darren Morgan and Dominic Dale.
Thank you, Ian. Yes, eagerly anticipated match, this one. The young pretender in James Cahill versus the long-established great champion that is Neil Robertson. Made 100 centuries last season, more than a lot of players make in their entire careers. And this is exactly the sort of position Neil Robertson likes the balls to be in. Already 40 points to the good. He'll be disappointed not to win the frame from here, the way these reds are spread.
47. 48.
Neil Robertson doesn't hang about, he's in full flow. He's got a terrific temperament and even more a terrific cue action.
53.
It's like a piston, back and forth, straight as a die. Very effective.
$54. Yes.
Just had a slight kick on that pink there, Neil. So he's asked the referee to clean the cue ball. Just see this pink ball lift, there you go. Not a serious kick though. Pink still went in and he's 60. Still ideally on a choice of reds. Just a couple more reds and colours required to take this opening frame.
$61. $68. 69.
So I think it's fair to say this first frame is over.
$75.
There you can see. So this has been a good opener
76.
for Neil Robertson. James Cahill, he hasn't really done a lot wrong. He's just played a careless safety shot. It's cost him this first frame.
83. $84.
Right, needed that cue ball just a little bit higher to have been perfect, but
91.
no problem.
$92.
And these are absolutely perfect now. He takes a pink, 2 reds and 2 blacks. We could be looking at a 1-4-1.
98.
Long way to go.
99.
What a start this is. So that's his 38th century of the year. A long way behind the
106.
103 he had last year.
107.
Goes the red.
$140. 160.
Well, this is as good as it gets. He's in total control at the minute. Oh, we thought the green was going to drop. A little bit more pace it would have. He's not going to be too bothered. Looked like it was going to be a 1-4-1. It wasn't to be. 116, but he leads 1-0.
Yeah, fantastic start there by Neil Robertson, Terry, with that century.
Yes, he's very impressive, isn't he? He's one of these players that when you watch him play, you don't think he's going to miss anything easy at all. And he doesn't miss easy very often, I can tell you.
We talk about snooker at the moment going through a bit of a renaissance, lots of big stars, and he is certainly one of them.
Yes, he's one of the top players, you know, with, of course, Sullivan, Sean Murphy, Judd Trump, Mark Selby. You know, they're up the top of the tree. Din, you know, those are the players you feel are going to win more tournaments than others. But we're hoping for a few young players to come in now, you know, because we need some fresh faces in there. And I think the last one we had, of course, was Judd Trump.
What about James Cahill? Does he stand a chance in this game? Because he hasn't really won a game since that big win over Ding Junhui at the UK Championships. He's won one game, that was at the German Masters.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be disappointed with that, but the truth of it is, if you become a professional player, you're a very good player. It's just that you're up against the best players in the world all the time, and it's a tough test. He's very young. I'm sure he has got a future in the game. He's just got to be patient with himself and not expect to beat the top players all the time so early in his career.
Tough challenge. Let's see how he does in response to that great start by Neil Robertson. Back to Dominic and Darren.
Well, James Cahill, he's just eyeing up the situation. He knows any mistakes, he's going to be punished severely. What a great first frame that was by Neil Robertson. That's a very well played safety shot.
That's a great reply from Neil Robertson. Look at that cue ball, centimetre off that bulk cushion. And there's a lot of pressure on these safety shots because one mistake could be the only one you make in the frame, because these reds are spread absolutely beautifully. And there's a lot of pressure on this shot here for James Cahill. I can't see an easy return to bulk.
The wrong intended red there. He'd have much preferred to have missed that altogether, and the referee call a miss. As it is, he's giving Neil Robertson a nice easy starter.
1. Three.
You just have a little look to see what's available. He'd love to clear around the black, because all the reds are open, but nothing goes. He's going to have to concentrate on the pink a minute.
4.
2 reds below the black, blocking both pockets, and then that red that's just on the black is making things a lot more awkward than it need to be. So he's going to have to concentrate on the pink. It's all going to be about when the pink goes back on the spot, whether it goes into the right corner, which it will. It won't go into the left corner. So there's still a lot of work to do yet before you'd say this is a great chance.
11.
Well, as you can see, those two reds are a plant. I don't feel Neil needs to worry about shots like that at this stage. When you consider the position of the reds. I'm just wondering though, if the red just next to the black, if he pots that in the left corner, will that black pot into the right corner? Not quite sure if one of the reds is just blocking the path. Well, no, it will go. Yeah. So that will be a red that Neil would love to get out of the way, the one that's right by the black. Be trying to do that sooner rather than later. I feel that would make break building a lot easier. Try to get on it there, but hasn't got the right angle on it. Would cannon the black if he potted this red now.
$17.
Well, he had a massive kick then. I think he's still going to be okay. If the black goes to the right corner, he'll have worked out as perfect. See there, well, you can see the pink and the cue ball left the bed of the table.
23.
So got a perfect angle there, just a stun run through. So it's all about did the black go to the right corner. It does.
24.
We can see a huge gap. Now all of a sudden, this now has turned into a very good chance. Nothing really safe, everything pots.
$31.
Yeah, another kick there. Seems nearly every shot that Neil plays is a tiny kick of some sort. Problem is sometimes you get so many of them. Let's see if it's in just a fraction. Sometimes you get so many of those tiny kicks you just don't bother cleaning the cue ball because you really interrupt your
32.
Your flow. Sometimes just best to clean it after a bad kick, I think. Now, he's just got too much angle on this pink, Neil, so he's got to play a very careful positional shot here.
$38. $39.
I'll not give him the commentator's curse. He had 116 last frame. And he wouldn't put it past him. Having another century.
46.
This one already on 46 in perfect position. Nothing really difficult left. Everything's out in the open.
47.
There is them three little cluster of reds below the pink, as long as the outside one goes. And there's nothing safe at all.
$54. 55. $61. $62.
That plant's still there, look. Just see it in our picture.
68.
They have just too much angle on this red to play for the black, so be back up for the pink again.
69.
And now I think Neil may well attempt that plant, develop all the other reds, and pave the way for a potential second century in succession. Surprised me there.
75. $76.
Another thunderous kick there.
82.
It won't matter. The frame already won. Neil's just intent now on making this second century break. Hasn't done anything wrong yet, Neil. Poor James Cahill can only sit and watch and wait for his chance and hope that he gets one.
89. $90. $96. 97.
Wow, another century from Neil Robertson. What a great performance he's putting in here. And as you could see, warmly appreciated by
106.
our audience here this afternoon. And now this time, can he go on and clear the remaining colours? Yes, the green's in this time.
109. $113. $118. $124.
Wow, this is brilliant stuff from Neil Robertson. Made a break in the first frame of 116. And in goes the black for a clearance of 131. So Neil Robertson extends his lead in this best of 7 frames match. He leads 2-0.
Yes, what a stunning start by Neil Robertson. I don't think he's going to give James Cahill much of a look in this one, Terry.
Well, he hasn't so far anyway. I mean, 2 centuries is, you know, I mean, it's top stuff. They say there's very little room at the top, you know, and, you know, he is a top player, and James is going to find it difficult if he carries on playing like this. Can James bring something out here to try and stop the flow of Neil. Really, he's either got to start going for a few or perhaps playing better safety. He's got to do something, otherwise he could just run away from him.
He's got a few moments to think about it as Robertson takes a break. What's going through the youngster's head there, do you think, as he waits for the world number 4 to return?
I think at the moment he's thinking, well, I haven't done nothing wrong really, and I'm 2-0 behind, so then he won't be so down in himself as if he was 2-0 down and he's had a lot of chances. So that's in his favour really. So if he gets a chance and starts to score, it may start thinking again, you know, that hold on a minute, the guy hasn't given up yet and all this. But at the moment, Neil looks as if he's going to be very tough to beat.
He's moved on to 400 career centuries with those 2 100s there. Do you see him as a strong challenger? He has to be, doesn't he?
He's a strong challenger now for every tournament he plays in, you know, and he's. I remember watching him make him on the circuit first of all, you know, and he was always an excellent potter, but he didn't have the other sides to his game. Now his break building, as we see in there, you know, his safety, his temperament is so good, you know. He tends to forget his mistakes very quickly. If he gets knocked out of a tournament like he did with in the Masters, you know, with Sean Murphy, he lost heavy in the final, came back the next tournament and started to do well again. And it's good to see people from overseas coming over here and living here and playing so well, because it isn't easy.
That sort of changing hands quite a lot, isn't it? Sort of world number 1 position, as you said. O'Sullivan beaten by Robertson at the Masters, and then Robertson is beaten by Sean Murphy, so it's a really interesting little mix there at the top of the world rankings at the moment.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of good players in contention for tournaments all the time now, which makes it very interesting for everybody.
So, how can Cahill respond? Can he respond? Let's rejoin our commentary team, Darren and Dominic.
Thank you, Ian. Yes, James Cahill breaks off for frame 3. Must win frame for him, you'd think. To win a match from 3-0 behind in any best of 7 is difficult. Against Neil Robertson, almost impossible, you'd feel.
Yes, and I think if I was James Cahill, I'd be saying to myself, well, it's not that I've played bad, because he hasn't. He's played one loose safety, which cost him the frame, and then, to be fair to Neil Robertson, he's knocked a good pot in the last game and again cleared up. He's playing extremely well at the minute, Neil Robertson. I think James has just got to be positive and hope that Neil's standard just drops a little bit and he gets a couple of opportunities.
Well, that was a mistake from Neil. Just what James was hoping for, but unfortunately he hasn't left James anything easy to go at. But when you're 2-0 down and you haven't really had a shot, maybe it's time to take one on here for James. Obviously not easy this, but well, you're 2-0 down, you've got to try and make something happen.
One.
Well, he'll settle for that. His first point of the match, a fluke. Didn't get it into the corner, but there she goes.
Well, that was a very, very good pot from James, because he missed that initial long red by quite a long way before he fluked it.
5.
So he couldn't have played that brown with a great deal of confidence. fractionally came across that, James, but it went in. Don't know if he's got the angle on this black to pot it and just nudge the red next to it on for the corner pocket. He must be dead straight, he's trying to screw back. Good pot, but hasn't got good position.
30.
Well, I think that was a little bit of a mistake, him going for that. That's one he'd maybe pot 1, maybe 2 in 10. And he's left Neil Robertson a nice easy starter now again.
One.
And he's keyed down absolutely to perfection. He has got a couple of reds out, but if he's got an angle on this black, he can elect to go in the way he's queuing up. He's just seeing where he'd have to stick that white just past the pink to get on this red the right corner. He would have to play that absolute perfection to the inch. Not a lot of room to play with. So he elects to play for the red in the middle instead.
8. Nine.
Well, he's not the right side of the blue, so he'll be playing the pink here, I'm sure. But not quite sure what Neil can play for. Yeah, pink's too much angle on the pink, really. Can't go into the pack of reds from the pink. He could maybe stun into the one of the reds and knock it on for the right corner pocket. Yeah, prefers it. He's got more control with the blue. It's just a simple run through for a red with the rest into the yellow pocket, but no, it's the pink. He's going to stun into one of the loose reds here, I think, and just knock it on. Yeah, it didn't get enough stun on the ball there. Ran through it. And that looks like end of break.
15.
Try to just cannon that end red, the one to the right of that pack of reds there, towards that black pocket. And just rather ran through it.
Neil Robertson, 50.
So same sort of pattern taking shape here. All the reds coming into the open. Good safety shot. Just going to get either player in. Needed that white then to giddy up and get behind the yellow and save him. That was a nervous looking shot he played then.
1. Four. Five.
Such a straight, curious Neil Robertson. Hardly surprising he never misses. But once again, he's going to have to make most of his points here without the aid of the black, which is tied up again by red. Didn't hindrance him too much in the first two frames.
Eleven.
Judged that cannon nicely. He's got a good angle on this pink now, and he's developed another red or two in the process.
Again, no problem. He's making them pinks into the centres look very easy.
80.
Got a tendency sometimes with them a little bit straight and catching the far jaw. He's right on top of his game at the minute, Neil Robertson. Playing very confident. And James Cahill, all of a sudden, is having a lot to think about. He hasn't had very many chances. He hasn't done a lot wrong. But he has had one or two in this frame.
19.
Well, if Neil played that shot, it was a tremendous one. Queuing over another ball, striking down, potted the red, screwed into the red and pink to develop them, and he's landed very well on this pink. Didn't judge that cannon quite so well.
25.
Not ideally now on anything really. If he pots a red below the pink, he's going to cannon into the pink, so he'll have to once again try and knock it on for one of the centre pockets.
Nothing seems to be a problem at the minute for Neil Robertson. He marches on. Well controlled that last rare shot. Got a tricky little pink. Again, he's just going to have to drop it in. Again, no problem.
32. Thirty-three.
Towards the winning line again, Neil Robertson, this third frame. Just 2 more reds and colours required to take a 3-0 lead. Once again, that black's been tied up pretty much all through this break. Had to make use of the pink, the occasional blue and bulk colour to amass this lead.
46.
Red and pink puts him 53 ahead, with only 51 remaining.
47.
And it should be 3-0 Robertson.
He is still on course for his 3rd century on the trot. You'd have to say
53.
He's got his work cut out to get his 3rd, but it still is on. 3 reds, 3 eye colours on all the colours.
$54.
What a shot that was now all of a sudden. It's looking like it's very achievable. He's absolutely flying. He's playing perfect snooker.
61.
And you just know he'll want to clear up now and make the 3rd on the trot. What a performance this is.
69.
Doesn't get any better than this.
76. 78. 81. 85. 90.
Still motoring on. Pink and black. What a performance this has been. So it's a 131, 116. And now 103. So it's 3 centuries and 3 frames. Neil Robertson now leads 3 frames to 0.
Excellent stuff from Neil Robertson. 3 frames up, 3 centuries. Terry, you can only feel sorry for poor old James Cahill sat there watching that.
Well, he did get a chance in that for him anyway. He didn't get a chance in the first 2, but no, it's very difficult to play against. Sitting down in your chair for long periods of time, even when you get the opportunity, you've lost your touch. So, you know, that's the secret of the top players. They keep you in your chair for so long that you don't feel you're involved in the match.
How hard is that then when you're sat there just waiting for an opening and it doesn't come? The longer it goes on, the harder that becomes.
Yes, I mean, sitting in your chair is not the best place to be, you know. I mean, at the level there is now in professional snooker, you get punished badly, you know, when you're making mistakes against the top players. And sitting out for long periods is very, very difficult.
Well, let's see if there's any hope, or will Robertson see this one out with a clean sweep? He leads 3-0.
Pretty good break off that from Neil Robertson. If James can't clip that left-hand side of the pack of reds, he's not going to have an easy return to bulk. Having to swerve it slightly. Cannon on the green. I just wonder if Neil will be tempted by this long red. Well, he's playing, very possibly will be.
Yes, he's just having a little look to see if he can find the gap behind the black. I think if he can, he'll go for the red, but if he thinks he's going to collide with something, I think we'll see him play the safety shot. And the way he's lining up, I think that's what he's doing. Well, Neil's having a good look. I think it's going to have to be a safety. Just off this red, towards the right. Cush. Wants to miss the brown, which he's done. It's a clever shot, that one, because he's played that in a way that he doesn't leave the red to the right centre. So this is going to take a good safety from James Cahill. I think he can just get to the edge of the red nearest the left corner, but it's a thin snick. He is looking to see if he puts the cue ball down on his top cushion, if he'll block everything. I don't think he's got any other options, so this could be just a containing shot up and down.
Would have liked to have hidden the red near the right centre pocket, because that's a pretty straightforward safety shot now for James. But he can also play off the left-hand side of the reds. Got choices here. Just got to be careful he doesn't knock a red towards this right corner. Yeah, that was always on.
One. Three.
Seemed to rebound rather quickly, that cue ball off the side cushion. Normally it's due to a bit of chalk on the cue ball or greasy deposits of some form. Cause an incorrect bounce on the cushion rail. Well, if he pots this in, I think there's a chance of 4 centuries in a row down.
4.
The trouble is, you just wouldn't bet against it at the minute. He's on fire. Well, now that's gone in and he's got on that red. I wouldn't bet against it now.
11.
If I was a betting man, which I'm not. Because he has played absolutely perfect snooker this afternoon.
12.
Neil, actually, in a PTC event some months ago, actually defeated his first round opponent 4-0 with 4 consecutive century breaks. So he's done this before.
$19. 20.
That's just travelled on a little bit further than he would have liked. He's still on this blue. Well, he tried to play a delicate little controlled stun. It's going slightly astray. He's still got a shot at the red to right centre or red left corner. He's going to play the red in the left corner. This is a lot more difficult than the red at the centre, but if he pots it, it guarantees him position.
$26.
Just doesn't look like missing at the minute.
Again, just got the wrong angle on this red. Can't get back on the black now. But he can stun through the gap of the pink and those 4 reds. for position either on the pink or further up the table for the blue in the left centre.
34.
Didn't intend the cannon, but if he drops the blue in, he'll be okay.
Neil Robertson, 34.
Ah, what happened there? I wasn't expecting that one. Don't think it was a kick.
Yes, whether he was frightened because there was a little bit more of an angle on it than it looked. The cue ball going in behind the yellow.
1.
James Cahill will be a little bit happy that he's going to get this unexpected opportunity. Now, what can this young man do?
Was almost dead straight on that black.
8.
Had to force it in to create some sort of an angle. I think the easiest red he has here is one to the left centre. Well, nothing's easy out there, is it? When you're 3-0 behind, you've hardly had your hand on the table. He's only scored 13 points in the match.
One.
Now that pink has gone in, and he's nicely on the red.
7.
I think James Cahill might have just played his last shot in this year's Welsh Open. I mean, Neil's still got to put at least 3 or 4 more reds and colours. But if this shot was to go right and he finish on the black, pot of the red, he's a little bit closer to the cush than he'd have liked.
8.
And looking at it, he's going to be quite straight on this black. You can see there's not much of an angle there, so he's going to have to force it around. It's all about the cue in. No problem with his cue in at the minute.
15. $16.
So black, red and another colour. We'll just about see Neil Robertson home, the 4-0 victor.
$23. $24.
Well, he didn't judge the cannon perfectly, but, well, is he feeling confident? One more good pot, and the match should be over. Straightish black to the right centre. The way he's played in this match and potted, I'd be surprised if he turned it down. Especially he's got some insurance with the blue being tied up on that left-hand side cushion. Oh, that was so close.
Neil Robertson, 24.
Wow, one more reprieve for James Cahill. But he's going to have to do something very soon. As we just have a look at that black. Oh, fractions.
One.
Cue ball just got away from him a little bit.
8.
Makes the red down a cushion a lot more difficult. He might even play the red just above the pink and move the blue, especially if the pink goes into the right corner. Two in one shot this.
Nine.
It's well played. Oh, this is a right tricky little tester. This will tell whether your Kewin stands up to the pressure. These are what we called horrible shots. And no problem. Very well played, young man.
Wow, he's given himself a great chance now. Still needs to clear the table here to win on the black, but he's given himself a great chance. And if this red passes the blue and the yellow into that top left corner, wow, I suppose he'd have to put in favourite for this frame. Well, he must have been caught in two minds there to have missed that by so far. I know there was pressure on it, but when you miss those, you don't normally miss them by as much as that. I don't think he was settled on the shot at all.
One.
And that red was frame ball for Neil Robertson. As we have a look at James Cahill's last shot in this match, you see some 4 or 5 inches away. Don't think he'll be coming back to the table now.
Eight. Nine.
Well, that's a Judge Trump's book there. All academic now.
16.
He's safely through to round 2.
$19.
Been a magnificent display this from Neil Robertson. Breaks of 103 in the last frame. 131 in frame 2, 116 in the first frame. Pretty much what's won him this match. Slightly scrappier this frame. James Cahill has had the odd chance, as he has had in 1 or 2 of the other frames, but they weren't good chances
34.
Well, he's not going to worry about the black. That little break from Neil Robertson is more than enough to secure his place in round 2. A 4-0 victor over young James Cahill. Neil Robertson will now play the winner of the match between Joe O'Connor and David Morris in round 2.
Well, 4 centuries might have been a little greedy, but Neil Robertson safely through with a fantastic first round performance, beating the youngster James Cahill. So we'll hear from Neil Robertson very shortly. Terry Griffiths, though, if we described Ronnie O'Sullivan's first round performance earlier as workmanlike, perhaps, that was a smooth, fantastic display from Neil Robertson.
It's what we've come to expect from him, you know. I mean, if you give him chances, he normally takes them, and for James Cahill, who's just starting his professional career, it's a very tough draw for him. But on the other hand, he's got nothing to lose. But the truth of it is, after 3 frames, he'd only scored 13 points. I mean, there'd been 3 centuries. I mean, it's not the position you expect to be in.
No, I'd imagine not. Tremendous 3 centuries from Robertson, really setting a high standard right at the start of the competition.
Yes, we do find this sometimes. The top seeds in general are a little bit shaky in the first round, haven't played in this arena before probably, and you're going in there a little bit unaware of what's in front of you. But Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, is very critical of the venue and says a lot of people moving about, and he wasn't, you know, was at peace with himself out there, which you can understand. But Robertson looked perfection, didn't he? I mean, he doesn't really show anything. He's the same all the time, winning or losing. Yeah. If you look at his face, you can't tell where he is, winning or losing.
It was a tremendous start by Neil Robertson, and we'll get his view on how he did also on the venue very shortly. He's making his way up to speak to us. First, what news of another leading Welsh player, Matthew Stevens, 31st in the world right now? Well, I can tell you he is through to the second round, narrowly though. He's through to round 2 after a 4-3 win over Oliver Lines, the teenager from Leeds, who has beaten the likes of Mark Selby and Mark Williams of late. So, Terry, he'll be pleased, Matthew, to have made it through, albeit quite narrowly in the end.
Well, it is tough. You can see this pink. He needs this pink, you know, to win the match. I mean, it's a fair shot, to say the least. And that was a tight last frame. You know, on the colours, he must have been playing for about 20 minutes, so he'll be very pleased to get through that one.
Yeah, 4-3 win there for Matthew Stevens. We mentioned earlier Dominic Dale is out of the competition. Disappointment for another Welshman, Andrew Paget. He's out after a 4-2 loss to Rory McLeod, and McLeod now plays the defending champion Ronnie O'Sullivan this evening. Mark King, 32nd in the rankings. He overcame Eden Sharav quite simply with a 4-0 win. Ken Doherty, the former world champion, is also through, but the veteran Jimmy White takes his leave from the competition. He goes out after a very close decider against Barry Pinches, who plays Mark Williams now this evening. And a very warm welcome to the man who's just seen off the youngster there, James Cahill. Neil Robertson, congratulations. You must be very, very happy with how that first round went.
Yeah, I mean, you know, James had a great win against Ding Junhui in the UK. Yeah, I really sort of built myself up for the match, knowing that, you know, maybe unlike some of the other first round matches where, you know, maybe you can get through without playing your best, I felt as though I had to play very well to win.
Couldn't have gone much better, other than perhaps getting a 4th century there at the end.
Yeah, White just drifted off a bit across the net. It can happen across the finger mark or whatever, and off pretty easy blue. So maybe it would have been 4, but you know, three's not too bad either. I have to settle that.
It wasn't bad, was it, Terry?
Not too smelly, 3 out of 4 frames, no. Yeah, it was very impressive. I mean, especially in the first round, as I mentioned. But like Neil says, you know, I mean, they're under pressure, the top players, irrespective of what people think. They all think, you know, the underdogs are under the pressure, but the top players are under pressure as well.
Well, Ronnie O'Sullivan kind of refuted what you were saying there earlier, didn't he, Terry? He said that I wasn't feeling any pressure. What about yourself, Neil? Were you feeling pressure? Possible banana skin in the first round?
Yeah, no, it definitely was. I mean, anyone who can beat Ding is, you know, is a very good player. You know, it's harder to go deeper in tournaments these days than what it used to be, with everyone starting off, you know, in the flat draw 128. So, you know, you need to be playing well, you know, from the start. I mean, you know, Vinny it's his first time sort of playing on, you know, that kind of stage, and you know, he had more than enough chances to win a few frames against Ronnie today. So, you know, yeah, sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't. I felt as though I couldn't be slack today, and I'm very happy with the way I played.
Yeah, and to get 3 centuries takes you over the 400 mark, 401 career centuries now.
Right, I didn't know that.
There we go. We can bring you that news. So, I mean, it's a terrific start for you. You'd come here, as Terry suggested, all players are under a degree of pressure. You don't quite know what to expect. But just relief to know you're through?
No, not so much relief. I mean, relief, I guess, is when you win a match 4-3 that could have been really close. I mean, you know, obviously I played very well from the start of that match, you know, all the way through to the end. So, you know, there's never really any relief, just, I guess, a lot of satisfaction in my performance. So, you know, relief is maybe what Matthew Stevens felt on the table next to me, you know, when he's won 4-3 on the pink there. So, you know, different altogether.
And what's your thoughts on the venue? We had a fantastically frank assessment from Ronnie O'Sullivan earlier, who didn't like it. Have you heard what his assessment was?
Yeah, I was practicing, you know, obviously because my match followed his. I know what he means. There's an awful lot going on. You know, that you can hear the crowd on the other side of the arena, and also there's many other tables. So it's important that you've got to you know, stay really focused and try and get through the few rounds, and then, you know, then you're playing with less tables and then a bit more of an atmosphere, I guess, with the crowd watching only your match. You know, it can be hard to play sometimes when there's oohs and ahs going on the arena on other tables.
Okay, well, congratulations. You are through to the second round. Neil Robertson, thank you very much indeed. And we are going to take you very shortly to the match involving one of the other big stars of world snooker right now, Judd Trump.
Technical. Why has Judd Trump got such astonishing cue power? Quite simply, incredible acceleration of the cue. His reflexes are amazing. It's a Ferrari cue action rather than a Rolls-Royce one.
His stance is a solid foundation, but his setup appears intrusive upon the cue, as if his whole body has wrapped around it somehow. However, appearances can be deceiving, and Judd's cue power shows complete freedom of movement for the cue.
His head is incredibly still. Not so surprising on the more gentle shots, but very impressive on the power shots.
Tactical. You couldn't describe Judd as a touch player. He seems to like the sound of the ball hitting the back of the pocket. He's aggressive amongst the balls, sometimes perhaps a little bit too aggressive.
We've seen him take on shots that have defied logic. Sometimes it comes off, but often it doesn't. Perhaps as he gets older, he will strike a better balance. But that addiction to naughty snooker is why he's a crowd favourite.
Psychological. Judd seems utterly without fear when it comes to playing the other big names. He never enters an arena thinking he's the underdog. He's a natural competitor.
Season on season, he's been a consistent performer, reaching a ranking final every year since 2010.
He has won 4 finals but lost 3, and in the 2014 World Championship quarter-final, he dropped 5 frames in a row to Neil Robertson to lose that match. But I don't think that's big match nerves, just a result of the high-risk, high-reward brand of snooker he plays.
So a little bit of bonus coverage for you on the programme this afternoon. We'll see if Judd Trump can indeed make his way towards another ranking final. He is playing James Wattener. Let's pick this match up with our commentators, Dominic Dale and Darren Morgan.
Thank you, Ian. And what a mouth-watering encounter this seems to be. James Wattener, one of my old foes in my playing days. Been around a very, very long time. It's great to see him back at a major venue, playing televised snooker again. Great ambassador in Thailand he's been over the years. He was treated like a superstar for many years. And then you got the new pretender, Judd Trump. with his brand of naughty snooker, as they say. And that was a nice opening red. He's lost the cue ball. He hasn't got much power, this lad.
Green ball. Shit trump 1.
Those are really horrible shots to have to play when you're going across one of the, well, just beyond the baulk line. There's actually the top slate line is just about an inch above that baulk line, and sometimes when you play across it, the cue ball can just drift offline slightly. I don't know if that happened there, but I don't think he'd have left this red on for James had it not deviated slightly. Difficult shot though, that, and you've only just begun the match.
Yes, and two opposites, Dominic. You've got Judd Trump, that's got an abundance of power, and I suppose the one thing with Watner, even at his very best, is cue power.
1.
He doesn't possess any of the deep screw or power shots. In his heyday, he used to play a lot of shots, long reds to pot to stay on the black, knowing if he missed, he was leaving everything on. And that was the way he played, and he was very successful with it. Whereas the likes of Judd Trump and other players now would screw the cue ball back out of the way of trouble.
9. Just a second, please.
Not quite sure where this pink ball will respot, so we just have a look at James enjoying his bottle of water there. James at one time was world ranked number 3 or even number 2 at one point in the 90s.
15.
He's not that old, James. I think he's only in his early 40s, 42, 43 or something like that. But he has had periods when he's been really struggling and
16.
lost his cue action and his form altogether. It's great to see him back.
23. 24. 31.
'Well, it's very tight. If he could have got past the blue, that red was cuttable. It'd have been a real thin snick, as it is now. He's going to have to play to the left corner. Well, oh, it did. I was going to say, it looked like it was going to fall in. And it did. Can I show you, no one jumped on the corner of the pocket, Mr. Trump. It wiped his feet, had a look, and decided, yeah, it's okay, I'll dive in.
Well, surely Judd won't play the brown into the middle, will he? He can get on the red behind the black spot if he wanted to take it on. Yeah, he did take it on. Missed it though.
Judd Trump, 32.
It's funny this game, isn't it, Darren, really? Because Judd now will probably wish that red hadn't gone in the pocket. Because I think he'd have snookered it by the brown.
One.
Good opening red from James. What can he do with it? Risky shot this. Never easy.
8. James Watson 8.
There's a rare miss by James Watton at the middle pockets. At his best, he's probably, if not the best, top 3 middle pocket players ever. Now is his 40.
Judged that one pretty well, Judd. The old Cliff Thorburn shot that one when he came over from Canada. In the 70s and 80s, it was a shot that we hadn't really seen much of before, but he used to play it quite regularly. I do feel, even though Judd Trump is very good in the safety department, this kind of snooker will agree more with James Watner. He'll be quite happy that the balls are going a little bit scrappy, as Judd likes things to be open and to get on with stuff. James tried to pop that red with a lot of side spin, was expecting the cue ball to react a bit more than it did on the cloth. Unfortunately, it didn't, and that's why I hit it so thickly. Judd, though, couldn't quite take advantage of that opportunity. Becoming a slightly scrappy frame now, this one.
One.
It definitely looks as though that black does pot. Ah, maybe Judd doesn't think so. I'm surprised.
Seven. Eight. Fourteen. 15. 21. 22.
Just the black and one more red required now for Judd to take this opening frame. Won't need to worry about the awkward reds near that left hand side cushion.
29. 30.
'Glance at the
37.
scoreboard from Judd, sees that he's home and hosed in this first frame. James would need 3 snookers. So what sort of shot we're going to see from Judd here? A sensible one. Well, the red doesn't go in.
Judd Trump.
Will James...
7 and the first frame.
Well, I was going to say, will James get out of his chair for some potting practice, but no. No big breaks in that frame, but Judd Trump does enough, and he takes the opening frame to lead by 1 frame to 0.
So Dom, it's an interesting encounter. Old against new, young against old. It'd be lovely to see James Watner obviously, you know, pot a couple of balls and show us what he's made of, and show us that he can still play. Obviously he can still play to get here, but it's always nice to see the older ones coming back. Just wish they could have a little bit more luck.
Yeah, it's always tough, isn't it? Because I just wonder sometimes whether Judd actually knows the pedigree that James Watner once had in this game. One of the top players in the world for quite a few years in the Stephen Hendry era, but obviously he's suffered a lot of losses since then, and a loss of confidence, a loss of form. He's not regularly playing matches on the television, so it's going to be a tough asked for James to be competitive in this match, but you know, Judd does make mistakes. He does give you chances. If James can just make one good break to give himself some confidence, he's more than capable of beating Judd.
Yes, what do they say?
The second
Form
frame.
is temporary, class is
James
permanent. I believe in that. So, James Walton breaking off in their second frame. How he would love to level it all up and give Judd Trump something to think about. Well, one thing I will say about James Walton, I keep harping on in his heyday, he was a terrific middle ball potter and a terrific long potter. And so far, he's gone for 5, and he's missed all 5. When you're playing the likes of Judd Trump and Neil Robertson, Ronnie O'Sullivan and a couple of others, you must knock the long pots in.
Yeah, he's been unlucky there, James, as well. That cue ball bounced twice very quickly off the cushions. Ah, a chance. James can cut that red in, as we see Judd's miss, overcut it.
One.
Just wonder what speed Judd Trump would have gone into that pack of reds with from the blue. I think we had about 5 miles an hour from James against probably 55 miles an hour that Judd would have played it at.
7.
One thing worth mentioning though, we've just been playing in some qualifiers for the Indian Open and the China Open up in Barnsley, and the cloths, the bed cloth there was absolutely lightening. The cushions are very quick as well, but which caused a few problems, but the bed cloth was absolutely lightening, and so far today, matches I've been seeing in my own match, the cloth was a lot slower, so you know, there's a lot to get used to for these players, one venue to another, all the travelling. You know, sometimes
50.
players are too hard on themselves when they play badly and lose, but you know, in our cases, we've just a couple of days ago been in Barnsley qualifying, so there's a lot of travelling to do and a lot of different tables and conditions to try and get used to. No table plays the same
20
in different venues every day of the week.
21.
Well, he's just about all
20.
right. He's looking at the one to the right centre because he gets comfortable queuing. The one he'd love to play is the one closest to the black. This is a much more difficult pot. And he's done the same. He's at the near jaw, and that is something that James Watton never does. Very, very strong middle pocket player. That's 2 in this match already. He's at exactly the same jaw. He'll be very disappointed.
1. Seven. 8. 15. 16.
Lucky devil. Fortuitous cannon there for Judd. Left him perfectly on the pink. Well, we saw 3 century breaks in
22.
our last match with Neil Robertson. Great chance here for Judd to make one of his own.
23. 29. 30.
'Shot of our referee there in the background. German referee Marcel Eckert. One of the young breed of new referees coming through the ranks.
25.
Very efficient referee he is too. I know him very well.
Judge Ramp 35.
Well, I think that's a little bit of his naughty snooker, as they say. Go in for a shot, he'd probably pot 1, maybe 2 and 10. James Watton will be quite happy.
1.
He'd have been feeling the worst, and all of a sudden he's got another opportunity. Well, he's played that very well, and he's got a shot to both middle pockets. It all depends where this pink's going to go. If you don't want his own spot, it'll have to go up onto the yellow. I think James will be quite happy if it goes up to the yellow pocket, because it leaves him a nice easy red into the left centre.
Seven. 8.
Well, he'll play for the red next to the green now, James, I'm sure. Didn't get the right side of the blue. Got to take full advantage of this, you feel.
13.
No. He's struggling with cutbacks, James. I
Watton
don't know
now,
whether he's
13.
using side spin on the cue ball and it's just throwing the cue ball differently to how he envisages it doing, but it's he seems to have quite a new tip on that cue as well, Down. I had a look at it earlier.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. There was a shot, as we say in that.
1.
Just knocked in a good long red, or mid-distance red, I should say. Yeah, I was looking at his tip as well. His tip looked like it was quite new, and his fellows all shined up. It's all right when you're right behind balls with a new tip, dead straight, and what have you. Just when you, like Dominic said, flicking a little bit of side on, confidence goes out the window.
8. Nine.
Oh, Judd won't be happy with that. It's a bit straight, this. Oh, that's a good kiss on the pink for Judd. He'll play brown or pink here now. The position on that last remaining red.
$21. 22. $27.
So this green to make sure.
29.
That puts it beyond doubt. 26 head with 22 remaining. He'll be quite happy, Judd Trump. He's 2-0 up. He hasn't played particularly well. You won't say he's played bad either. It's a bit in between. James Watner has had his chances. And there's that bit of naughty snooker again with the pink, and he's down to the black. And he's going to play the black. And in goes the black. So very well played. So James Watner, he had his chances in that frame, failed to take them. It'll be Judd Trump's much happier. He now leads 2 frames to 0.
Yes, so a strong finish to that frame, Terry, but a much more even contest, this one.
Yes, it has been really. You'd expect Trump to go away from James Watner early on in the match, but he hasn't done that. And James has missed 1 or 2 shots. Dominic Dale mentioned something there. He's missing shots when he's putting right-hand side on a throw in the red thick all the time. And it can be because of the cloths and things, you know. But Judd Trump has been a little disappointing for me the last few years. He hasn't really pushed on from when he hit the circuit a few years ago, won the UK Championships, got to the final of the World Championships, and he hasn't really gone forward from there, though he feels himself that he's a better player than he has been in his earlier years. He's still a very, very dangerous opponent for anybody, but the consistency just isn't there with him.
But expect a little bit more, even given the fact that James Watner was a big star back in the Stephen Hendry days.
He was a big star, I mean, especially in Thailand. You know, I mean, he was a superstar over there, similar to how Ding is now in China. He was also a tremendous player, and he was like Trump, as I was saying earlier on. He'd go for everything, pot most of them, and a very tough opponent. But again, James never won any of the big events. He didn't win the World. I think semi-final was his best effort. He didn't win the Masters or the UK, whereas Trump has won the UK Championships and has won a number of other tournaments, but he hasn't won the majors.
Well, here he is, back at the table, the world number 6, Judd Trump, leading 2-0.
Judd Trump breaks off for the 3rd frame of this best of 7 frames encounter. He's halfway there, leading 2-0. James has had his chances. Could have been a different scoreline this, if he'd have taken them.
Yes, Dom, and I think, you know, to be fair to James Watner in his defence, you know, like Terry said, he never won the World Championship or the UK or the Masters, but he's a multiple ranking event winner. You know, you can't take that away from him.
That's a very attacking safety from Trump. Played that with a lot of check side. Just gave him the opportunity of playing the safety shot with more pace to open the reds up. As you can see, one mistake here could be the player's last. Is James taking a red on here? Just below the pink spot he was looking at, but turned it down. Doesn't feel he can play it as a shot to nothing. Oh, this cue ball's looking a bit pacey. This is where James's cue power, or lack of it, comes into play here for me. I think Judd would be attempting this long straightish red to the right black pocket, but James wouldn't be able to play that and screw the cue ball back to bulk. He doesn't have the cue power to play it, whereas Judd, I'm sure, would have played that without any hesitation.
He had a little look at it. Well, I didn't think that was on. When we see the camera angle, it was miles away from being the perfect angle, but as we've already said, he plays unconventional shots.
Bramble.
And that was one of them, but in it went. Well, middles are never easy, certainly at that pace.
Incredible shot choices they were. The plant was a shot no one would go for. And the way he's played that brown with all that power had to be absolutely perfect. Well, James, here you are again amongst the reds.
Six.
And I'm afraid that is where we have to leave it this afternoon. An exciting start to the 2015 BetVictor Welsh Open. We'll feature Mark Williams' second round match in our highlights show at 11:20. Before that, though, the Rocket returns. We'll show you the defending champions' next match against Rory and McLeod. 7 o'clock, BBC Two Wales. From all of us now, goodbye for now.